Hi, this is Shelley Kraft. We're on SNN Live, and we're at the Bio Maryland booth at the Bio International Conference 2012 right here in Boston, Mass. I have Mr. Michael Daly from Frederick Innovative Technology Center. He is the Executive Director. Welcome to SNN Live.
Thank you, Shelley. Thank you for having me here today.
Well, it's good to have you, and I want to know about FITCI.
Well, I'm happy to talk about it. FITCI is a business incubator specializing in biotech and high-tech technology companies. By a business incubator, we mean that we help these companies start out, both with providing them the facilities as well as the business support programs.
Now, that's so important to these young companies because at least they have a roof over their head and they could then start with their laboratory experiments at least. And you have a staff on hand that supports all of this activity, correct?
That's exactly right, Shelley. You're obviously very knowledgeable about that. But what we try to do is give them a leg up in this business. As you know, it's not the easiest thing to start a new company in today's environment. So we give them the receptionist services. We give them the business support. We give them the professional-looking facility. We have common equipment labs so that they don't need to go out and buy very expensive biotech equipment just to start their research. So it is a very well thought out program to assist these startup companies, and hopefully based on intellectual property and growth, they will become the new employers of our next generation.
How many companies do you support at one time?
We have anywhere from 30 to 40 companies that we would have. We've got approximately 17,000 square feet, and it's a good-sized business incubator. We have wet labs, we have offices, we have meeting rooms, and what we try to do with these companies is to really get them and accelerate their growth so that they get the kind of investment necessary in order for them to make a difference in this world.
So now you're all in one spot, so funding sources nowhere to go.
That's exactly right. With our companies, we've got anything from companies that are starting out with some licensing technologies, medical devices, any of the biologics that are currently of interest. We also have access to the facilities that are local in our region, including Fort Detrick, which is a great institution right in our backyard. NIH is right down the street. Even the USDA's Greenbelt facility is not too far from Frederick. So we really do provide them a great opportunity to start companies.
You know what else most people don't realize about facilities like yours? The interaction of these young company executives hanging out in the lunchroom, having a cup of coffee every now and then. Sometimes they even exchange funding sources that might be interested in also funding a company that's not knowledgeable of that particular funding source. That stuff's important.
It is, Shelley. It's one of the most important things that we offer there. You've got this, it's called power of place, if you've ever heard that. It's the power of place. It's the ability for a company, just to, as you mentioned, to walk down and say, hey, did you guys ever see anything in the funding for this kind of and it's anything. It's anything that and everything. How do you do accounting for government contracts? Who's done this? And it's a wealth of resources that are available, as well as the networking. Networking is a very important element in startup companies, and without that contact of knowing somebody who knows somebody, it's very difficult. So we think that that entire environment is a major part of what we're trying to accomplish in Frederick.
What's your background?
I am an entrepreneur. I've started a number of companies myself, and I have thought I would do this for about 5 years. It's already been 8, and I don't know, they either can't fire me or I'm getting too comfortable.
No, you know what it is? It's really exciting to see these young people come up with technology. And I always say this, and it's so true, and it's truer than ever. We're all going to be patients, and these young guys that are coming around and women that are starting these companies and are going to have a cure for something that we might develop.
That's exactly right. I mean, I'm amazed at the technology. Really, I am. When you talk about these guys and what they're doing, they have these great ideas, and you go, "You're doing what? My goodness, I could never even thought of that." And so they have a great intellectual property. They're on the front line of things that we're not even going to see for another 10 years. And so it's the most exciting thing you can do is to see these new technologies and these entrepreneurs who are really into it. I mean, you find these scientists and these
almost myopic.
They are. I mean, I've learned a lot from them, Shelley. I have to say that.
Now, I'm going to ask you a question I pretty much know the answer.
Okay. I like those, but maybe I'll know it.
You will. Why choose Maryland?
Maryland is one of the best places to start a new company. First of all, it has a great support network and support system. We have the infrastructure with like business incubators like ours. We've got 20 of them in the state of Maryland. In addition to that, the life sciences, there's over 400 companies, life science companies in the state of Maryland itself. It's amazing the amount of people who are in that industry. We have a well-trained workforce. PhDs per capita is one of the highest in the country. So you got the right kind of people, you got the right location, you have the access to the federal labs. Of course, Maryland is right in that area. So when you put all those together, it has great opportunity for those companies looking to start new technology-based companies in Maryland. So I'm very high on Maryland.
And your website is?
Our website is www.FITCI.org.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Michael Daly of the Frederick Innovative Technology Center. He's the executive director. So if you have something to say or you have a question to ask, that's your guy. We're at the Maryland Bio International Convention 2012 here in Boston, Massachusetts. I want to thank you for coming on to SNN Live. Pleasure to have you.
Thank you, Shelley.